على نبينا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. يروي الإمام البخاري في صحيحه عن جرير ابن عبد الله البجلي رضي الله عنه قال: قال لي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في حجة الوداع استنصت الناس. So the hadith tonight is in the collection of Imam Bukhari, narrated to us by Jariir, and it happened during the Hajj of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, the farewell Hajj. It was his only Hajj alayhi salatu wasalam. And this is within the unity of the theme of the unity of Muslims. And it's a very short hadith. It's just a few words that he said alayhi salatu wasalam, but it showed a certain awareness or even fear that the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam had for his ummah before he passed away, before he moved on. So the hadith is, Jariir is telling us, and Jariir was basically the person who organized how the Prophet ﷺ's sermons were going to make it to large groups. That was basically his job. Like, he had a team, and that's what he did. Because the Prophet ﷺ, during that specific time, during the farewell Hajj, or when he performed his only Hajj, basically, the number of people that came for Hajj was huge. It was something around 100,000. And without modern technology, speaking to 100,000 people is very difficult. Getting a message to 100,000 people is almost impossible. This place barely takes 250, and if it's packed and I don't have a microphone and the ladies feel like they want to say hi to each other, then no one can hear anything. So even with a microphone, no one can hear anything. But so imagine the Prophet ﷺ standing in front of 100,000, 50 men, 50 women. I mean, it's very difficult. So Jarir's job was to make sure that there was going to be people who were going to take the message and move from one group to the other, as he had waited ﷺ until he got the thumbs up to go ahead and say the next thing. So as he was giving his farewell sermon, there was a lot of noise. So he told Jarir is saying, the Prophet ﷺ once told me, Istansit in-nas. Istansit in-nas means ask them to listen. I want to say something important before. يقول ففعلت. So what I did, I quieted people down. فقال صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم. Here's the point. قال لا ترجعوا بعدي كفارا يضرب بعضكم أعناق بعض. Don't regress after I die to the state before Islam and start killing each other again. Don't go back to how it was before I died, before I brought this. Make sure that was the moment I pass away, it doesn't turn into full chaos, and you regress back to the bad habits and the bad values and the racism and the hatred and the bigotry and the tribalism and all that stuff. Don't go back to that and start fighting again and don't be each other's necks again. Don't carry weapons against each other again. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that's what, basically, to a certain degree, a lot of that did happen and still does. But it shows you his true fear, alayhi salatu wasalam. This is what he was afraid of. He was afraid of that. He was afraid of Muslims, when he was no longer there to hold things down, that we would not honor the legacy that he left, alayhi salatu wasalam, of jama'ah. And it just stays with us. This is important. Obviously, the extreme example which he gave, which is يَضْرِبُ بَعْضُكُمْ أَعْنَاقَ بَعْض, where you're carrying a sword and you're trying to behead somebody or trying to kill them. But anything that leads to that, or anything that is similar to that, sometimes there's worse than that. Sometimes, even though it sounds like it's the worst thing ever, but sometimes you can do things, you can perform actions that bring division that are actually worse than even that itself. But that's what he was trying to explain, عليه الصلاة والسلام. يروي الإمام البخاري في صحيحه عن جرير ابن عبد الله البجلي رضي الله عنه قال لي النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم في حجة الوداع استنصت الناس ففعلت. فقال صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم لا ترجعوا بعدي كفارا يضرب بعضكم أعناق بعض. صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وصحبه أجمعين. Inshallah, we'll pray sunnah, and then we'll have the dars, inshallah ta'ala. Feel free, if you feel that the weather is bad outside, to attend this from home.